Steam VR Fest made its first appearance on Steam as a whole, showcasing everything VR, including discounted games, demos, and upcoming games. On Tuesday, I mentioned games that were worth purchasing in my honest opinion, but honestly, I barely scratched the surface on what I wanted to cover. But alas, we are here with this video. This time, I played as many demos as I possibly could from the time of making the video on Tuesday till today, because recently I just got my brand new PC on the day of the previous video. So this was a perfect time to take the new PC for a spin. This video is going to tell you about upcoming games from demos. These will have very brief reviews at the end, and if I feel like it, I'll extend the review to give a more thoughtful input of the particular game. Also, these are in no particular order, and these will include games that I've never played before. So no Grimlord, no Samurai Slaughterhouse, just games I've never touched. Hello and welcome, or welcome back to this shit show of a channel, and named after the soul overlord me, SoulBC, otherwise known as below average clitoris, according to Anzu on my Discord. You can give me more abbreviations in the comments or on my Discord. If you enjoyed the video, erect the thumbs up button and hit that subscribe button alongside the bell to get more of this dog shit. Straight into the list, Battle Talent. It is fucking good. I'll say that outright. It's an excellent game. It has excellent gameplay that almost exceeds games similar to it, like Blade and Sorcery and Legendary Tales. It has mazes, weapons, special abilities, weapons with special abilities. You can learn more about abilities as you acquire coins. You can get like a gun too, I guess. You can get a fire spell and so on. You can progress with the game, basically. And there's also what feels like anime influence alongside other dungeon crawlers. There's also very stunning visuals. I was very amazed with the textures and the visuals of the skeletons, but particularly the goblins. I've seen many goblins in VR in my days, and this is probably far the best one. There's also stunning visuals, as you could see from the gameplay. Definitely a solid game with all of its implementations. I definitely brought out my inner weeb with the katana and slash wave gem thing, whatever you want to call it. I felt like Ichigo Kurosaki firing a Getsuga Tensho, except not so satisfying, but it was still satisfying.
Getsuga Tensho!
Up next, Undead Citadel. Undead Citadel feels like a successor to Hellsplit Arena, in my honest opinion. It has amazing swordplay, physics, and weaponry. The enemies, well, they act like very similar to Hellsplit. This is all in the Horde mode, by the way. This is not including the story mode, of which they haven't revealed to the public yet. There's also a little potion that makes you feel like Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat. When you touch an enemy, when you take the potion, they just freeze and you can break them. It's really satisfying. I can definitely see someone performing some fatality actions with any of these weapons, especially with the Sub-Zero freeze potion thing. Your character does have a voice and presence as well, which I found different for a VR game. It's fairly uncommon, actually, so I was amazed about that. I was actually very surprised. It's an awesome experience that always kept me on my toes and kept me in the game for longer than I wanted to play. The severing of limbs and vertebrae is also fun, a little tidbit, you know, severing your foes in half. Who wouldn't want to do that in a VR game? Well, obviously a sane person wouldn't, but I'm not exactly sane, am I? And either way, it's dope as fuck. This next game wasn't my cup of tea personally, but I can definitely see the appeal for it. It is Tomb Explorer VR. You're basically like Indiana Jones, figuring out puzzles, exploring tombs to get to the inner sanctum of the ruins you're trying to get into. And again, I can see the appeal. However, there was no real threat at all, which I was expecting. The only threats there were was the booby traps on the floor, but it was only for a small portion of the demo. The climbing was fun to do, but you could survive any fall. But that was also the only thing that appealed to me in the game personally. Actually, that's a lie. When you're using the continuous crouch feature with your joystick, you can get so tiny using that stick, you like almost touch the ground and you can see your little feet, and it's just hilarious. All in all, this game is appealing to some. I can definitely see it, but for me, it's just, I just can't. Troll Hunter VR was a terrifying experience. You are to prepare to hunt for trolls that are different species and are actually quite massive, bigger than the trolls from Valheim, and definitely more intimidating. What I didn't expect was the game to be developed by CM Games, a dev team that created one of my all-time favorite VR games, Into the Radius. I could tell from the tutorial screen and main menu. Anyway, you are to find what species of troll you're dealing with, and you are to use the surroundings to defeat the troll and teabag the shithead. or do whatever you want with that corpse, I guess. Nothing loot, okay? Nothing loot. But you could use bombs, you could use like cannon type things. I don't know. It felt really intimidating to try to kill a troll this way, and the sheer size was wild. I feel like this game would need a multiplayer mode though, as the experience of fighting a troll alone is fun, but I feel like the appeal would lose quality fairly quickly. But the more people and a larger health pool for the troll possibly would make for an entertaining time for playing chicken or something. I liked it. It was fun for the short time I played it. I killed the troll pretty fast because, you know, I'm a god with these games, okay? I'm a god tier VR player. Not really. I'm really fucking trash. I'm sorry. Speaking of CM games, I was asked to try out another game of theirs for Steam VR Fest called Dreamcatcher. I actually didn't know this was from them either until they mentioned it. They said it was a light-hearted puzzle game, and with excitement, I said yes, because I love their games. To be honest, I just have a sweet spot for CM games recently, I guess. The game of Dreamcatcher at first glance is very kid-like, which I don't mind, but normally it's not for me. As much as I watch anime, it's just not for me personally. But I still played it, and as I progressed through the game with its puzzles, the story was kind of heartwarming. The name's kind of self-explanatory. You're a dream catcher person. You delve into a person's dream, I think, something like that, and you just like unravel their dream, I guess. And the particular dream we were in, it felt as if the message was to tell you to find what you want to do in life. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much on it, but as the character's dream we were going through didn't like several things like math and history, yet the puzzle resembled a French horn. The puzzle was engaging and the backstory of the person's dream was enlightening. It was a solid game to play, but there were some tidbits that felt different from a game like Into the Radius. I know it's a bad comparison, but I mean, I'm comparing their previous work, I guess. Internally, I mean, not mechanically. I don't expect gunplay in a kid's game. For example, though, the sound design. It felt a little lackluster, like the game didn't have the great sound design like Into the Radius has, which Into the Radius sound design is everything for me, and this didn't really have a whole lot of that. Yes, it had some good sound effects, but it didn't captivate me like Into the Radius did. It had a song that was on a loop at a perfect volume actually, but again, on a loop. I'm not really for looping music, especially if it's the same thing over and over. But that's a lot of games nowadays, which is kind of weird to me, but whatever. The atmosphere was great, however. Again, it's a lighthearted game for sure, and an inspiring one, actually. It felt really inspiring to go through the dream and reading the dialogue, the text. It's so lighthearted, I can't even like make proper jokes about it. My usual scuffed jokes, that's how lighthearted it is. I just can't do it. FRIGID VR is a survival game from what I read. It was simply okay, though. Not the best survival game for VR that I've played, however. There are several things that bugged me. It was the absolute powerhouse of a gun you get in the beginning. I mean, like literally you get like it's continuous. There's no reloading required. Basically, it felt ridiculous, and it was a deagle shaped gun, and you could just continually shoot it with no recoil. It's a demo, so I'm not gonna crush it too hard. The presence of survival didn't feel like it was there though. Even though it's stated it's a survival game, I didn't have any survival things I needed to take care of. Only when battling the wolves that spawned later on, but that was about it. The interactions of the game were there, but also not. You can only interact with a few things as well, yet there would be prompts for similar things. A good example is the cabinet doors. You could open like a few, but you couldn't open the rest, which was like, why? I don't know. It's just me. It just felt a little guided, like a lot guided. Yet this does have a story to it. There is a voice to this game as well, to the main character you're playing as, which again is fairly rare in VR games. However, I couldn't get through it because of the lack of options to change the movement style. I am not a controller-based movement person because it really fucks with my head, and I like to move with my head, where my head is facing, and this wasn't it. It made me feel like I had to hurl from both ends, so I couldn't play through it to the end. But it had some promise, I think, with some more TLC. I'm willing to try it again in the future for sure. This next one, though, is by far one of the most unsatisfying yet satisfying demos I've ever played. My emotions are getting played with this demo. The demo is Paradox of Hope. I don't know why my emotions got tricked like this. Like I felt played here. You're only allowed to play in the main hub area of the game, which there's like a shooting range and stuff. You're able to buy the guns, the attachments, and again, shoot at the shooting range, and etc. Yet, you cannot fight enemies just yet in this demo. But let me tell you why I'm excited for this game. Like, I'm actually genuinely excited for the future of this game. It's as if Metro's lore had a threesome with The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners for its mechanics like storage and stuff, backpack, and home, and Into the Radius for its gunplay. It has so many things you can ask for in a game. The only thing I genuinely wanted to put in the gutter is the fucking pressing of the left B index controller, by the way, to move. Holding it felt so horrendous, and I couldn't. And there's no like snap turning, there's no smooth turning either, so that is another thing that bugged me. But that was it. Those are the only two things that I did not like. Maybe they did this on purpose for a future thing, but it's not it for me, Chief. It was the most infuriating part of the entire experience, but besides that, the threesome got me so hyped for this. Like it's mind-boggling to think Metro, Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, and Into the Radius in one giant game. That alone is shaking my head in awe. This looks phenomenal for a game that's being developed by one person. And by the way, there is dialogue, but the dialogue is in Russian, but they do have English subtitles. I don't know if it's intentionally supposed to be in Russian, which I'm not opposed to, but that's what it is. But either way, the game looks phenomenal. Like, for one person to do all this, it's actually fucking gorgeous. I have never been more cock teased in my life. Like, Blue Balls Simulator. I put this on my wish list immediately though. So much promise and blue balls inducing for sure. I'm so happy my computer arrived here in time for these amazing demos. I had an absolute blast playing these games. Each had its own unique twists, and I'm hyped for what's to come with the future of VR gaming. I want to thank my patrons and YT members for supporting me. You have given me more pride than you could ever know. I truly appreciate you. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button so this can get to more viewers like yourselves, and it helps me fight those anomalies called the YouTube algorithm. If you're interested in other VR content as well as hilarity, be sure to hit the subscribe button and hit that bell to get notified of all my future videos. And don't forget to join the Soul Chamber in my Discord. There you'll be notified and up to date with my content, and be notified of any future events I plan to carry out there. Like today, there's going to be an event today at 6 EST, I think, if I remember right. Check out the Discord. It's a VR chat event. We're just going to hang out with Laser Dome or something like that. So come by and hang out. You can also chat with myself and my fellow souls on my Discord, whether it's about anime, art, or VR. Do what you want to do. Take a listen to the Compel Reality podcast if you want to hear VR stuff and news. And one last thing, though, is to escape reality and fight to keep your soul